What about making your sound better?
Tip number 1. Distort and EQ your kick. This is how our kick drum sounds now. So I added a drums bass with a whole bunch of drive onto it. But this brings out frequencies what I don't like at around 230 Hz, so let's cut them and boost a little on the very lows. And I added another drums bass to give a little more drive. So this is the before distorting, and this is the after distorting and EQing my kick. A lot beefier. Tip number 2. Layer a light snare with a huge clap sound. So I'm using this snare and I'm using this clap. Now on the snare, as you can see, I've high pass filtered everything below 700 Hz, and I added an EQ where I chopped off the very highs to avoid conflicting with the clap, and I boosted a saturator on it with 4 decibels of drive, and I added some colors at around 400 Hz. Tip number 3. Use a huge reverb on the clap and chop off the tails. So this is what I did here. I used a huge reverb and I automated the driver knob to chop off the reverb of the clap. Without the reverb, our future bass snare sounds like this. With the reverb, it sounds like this. A lot better, isn't it? Tip number 4. Use Trappy style 808 hi-hats, which means you don't go just ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, but ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, something like that. Tip number 5. Use multiple crashes instead of rides or open hi-hats. I use one crash on the kick and one crash on the snare. Tip number 6. You can use white noise to fill up the gaps in the groove. Tip number 7. Process top loops in a separate group. Select all your top instrument, press Ctrl or Command G, name this tops, and drop a glue compressor, an EQ8, pull back the threshold, add some gain, chop off the very lows on the tops loop, maybe add some highs, and add some drive to it to make those tops shine. But also pull back the output, you don't want them to be too loud. Tip number 8. Don't be afraid to saturate the groove. So drop a saturator, click on soft clip to avoid digital clipping, and add 1 or 2 decibels of very nice analog kind of saturation to your groove. This will give a very nice analog warmth to your groove.